far away from God. Now I'm coming home. The paths of sin too long I've trod. Lord, I'm coming home. A minister had just finished revival services in a huge Midwestern city. He stepped on the train on his way home and found himself seated next to a young man. For nothing better to do just to kind of pass the time away, he decided to strike up a conversation with him. But when he noticed that he didn't reply and he didn't respond, he said, "Son, I'm a minister. I'm a preacher. I'd be glad to help you any way that I can." And through his tears, that young man proceeded to tell him this story. He said, "Preacher, 2 years ago I got so mean at home, why, my mom and dad couldn't do anything with me. Why, I got so bad that one day I even struck my daddy with my fist." It was right then and there that Daddy said, "Son, I hate to do it. It's gonna break your mama's heart, but you have to get out of here. You have to leave this house." Well, preacher, I've wandered all over this country for the last 2 years. And then about 3 weeks ago, I gave my heart and life to Jesus Christ. I wrote Mom and Dad a letter. I told them I was going to be on this old train. I told them I was coming home. The preacher said, "Son, that's all well and good, but how do you know you can go home? How do you even know you'll be welcome home?" He said, "Preacher, our families lived beside these old railroad tracks all of my life in a little old white house. And out in back of our white house, we have a big old apple tree. I wrote Mom and Dad in that letter that if they could see it in their hearts to forgive me all the hurt and wrong that I'd caused them, if Daddy would take just one teeny tiny white rag, tie it at the top of the apple tree, and I'd see it from the window of the train, and it would be a sign to me that everything's all right. Oh, preacher, I want to go home so bad, and I'm sorry for everything that I've done. Would you mind, preacher, looking out the window for me and telling me what you see? If you see but one teeny tiny white rag at the top of that old apple tree." Well, not knowing what to expect, that old preacher began to wipe the window with his hand, and then he began to peer out. All of a sudden, he got a great big smile on his face. He said, "Son, I've never seen an apple tree in such full bloom in all of my life. There are tiny white rags tied all over that apple tree. And son, that's not all. Standing out there by the railroad tracks, I see a little old gray-haired man, and I see a little old gray-haired woman, and they're holding a bed sheet between them. And on that bed sheet it says, 'Welcome home, son. Come on home.' Why, isn't that just like God? No matter how much sin we have in our lives, if we'll come to Him and say, 'God, I'm sorry. God, I love you,' then to each and every one of us, He says, 'Come on home. Welcome home.'